I'm Tony boy. I want to stay, man. How it the
Bully, fully, one state. They could never bully. Welcome to the One State Podcast, the entertainment and world news podcast. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we are waiting. Hit that notification bell. Big up America. Big up Canada. Big up England. Wagwan Jamaica. Yeah, man. This one is brought to you by Snagger Roots. Right, stay on it long. Roots, Titanic Roots. You can find Snagger in Kingston, Jamaica, East King Street. You know what I mean? You can also look him up on Google. So this one is brought to you by Snagger Roots. Right, stay on it long. Roots. So today, on One State Podcast, we bring all the knowledge to each and every one. And we have former FBI agent, Myron, checking in and making know why America had to invade Venezuela, which is the world's largest oil reserve. How many people knew that? They just learned why America had to seize control of the Caribbean. You see what's going on in Cuba right now, the sanctions, tourists them flying out. Nobody wants to stay there because America now give them electricity and oil and all of them type of thing to them country. 60 years of communist government from Fidel Castro days. They had the Soviet Unions, and lately they had Venezuela. And now Venezuela is not backing them anymore, and they have no strong help from the Soviet Union. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so it's a big thing going on, and why these things are happening, and why the quote-unquote US dollar was under check by the Brit currency. There's another thing you should know. But guess what? I met Myron forward in and come telling him as a former FBI agent himself. Yes, what I mean,
confirm the hypocrisy and it confirmed what they've been saying. So what comes off as supposed to be a show of strength actually was a declaration of weakness, because we had to invade them versus exercising some level of diplomacy or trade. We are invading, doing regime change wars, putting people in sanctions. Meanwhile, what is China doing? China is building. China's creating infrastructure. China's investing. You can't just invade every BRICS country. Now it's about influence, and we're slowly losing influence.
One State Podcast, and every time it's a baggery. It's always about a baggery to learning intellectual things. People can sit back and learn things. You see what I say? So Myron, a former FBI agent that did time in the fields, whole heap of years in the fields, went for major operation. He's not an FBI agent no more. To share all these views with you, because maybe you don't want to believe me that when Venezuela is the world's largest oil reserve, in short term, that's good on paper for America, because we never understand, say, when all these countries like the Iran, the Saudi, and all of them are sell oil, and all of them type of thing, they have to purchase it in the US dollars. Anybody that purchase from them have to purchase in US dollars. That makes the American treasury prints more money, and that keeps the US dollar on top and keep it more powerful. You get what I say? So enough people even know these things. So the Brit currency and all these currencies that them are coming with these digital money, I put the US dollar on the risk, so just check times calls with just check measures, you know what I mean? So Trump had to step in and say, I'm going to seize control of the Caribbean, I'm going to seize Venezuela oil, you know what I mean? But this is my right.
We make a bunch of oil in America. The shale that we make in America is not the oil, and not the type of oil that our refineries, the crude that we produce, is not the same crude that countries like Venezuela, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the Middle East produce, that we actually run on. The refineries that we built, 50 years ago, were built on the crude that comes from the Middle East and Venezuela, the thick stuff, not the expensive lighter oil that we have here. Our refineries, our system is built upon the oil from the Middle East and the oil from like Iran and Venezuela. That's what our refineries operate on, So that's what you guys also need to know as well. When it comes to that situation, when it comes to, Myron, we have our own oil here. That's a lie that they've been telling you guys for a very long time to kind of keep the fear mongering. But the reality is that the oil that we have here is not the oil that this country runs on, unfortunately. The refineries that we have here don't coincide with the oil that we have here. Another thing you guys need to also understand, we've been utilizing our petroleum reserves for the past few years. under the Biden administration. You guys are saying, oh, well, gas prices aren't that bad, Myron. Well, the reason why is because we've been using our petroleum reserves. Now, for those of you that don't know what the petroleum reserves are, these are reserves that we have here in the United States for emergency situations. You know, outages, military needs, national security, whatever. But here's the thing. Biden, in the face of really bad approval.
So, there you have it for part one. That's part one. Stay tuned for part two, part few, and the One State podcast. That's Myron for you, a former FBI agent, explaining a lot of things. So as I say, if you want more,